It's time to rock and roll. It's time to bar talk it up. It's time to have a party. It's time to start the episode. Welcome.
Whoop, whoop.
We are on some weird shit right now. I was okay. I wasn't okay before this, but now I'm definitely not okay because Tracey's not okay, and we feed off each other's energy.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on. Something's in the air. Something's just like in the air.
And
we
it's
ran
drugs.
12 miles today.
And it's drugs.
And I went home and I took a shower and I crashed and now I'm back. And I feel like I'm having like a second wind. Like
This is a weird wind. This is like a hurricane.
little caffeine spurt situation. This is like when I go to work in the morning at like 3 and I'm like vibing and then I come down for a little bit and then my next couple classes I'm like on another high again.
I love that
This
you're
is
just
like
bouncing.
This is like my second wind of the day. And it's only, it's 2:00 already. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. You're good. We have so many things we have to do today, and we don't have enough time to do them, so we're going to get started. You guys, today we're talking business shit because we have to pay the dues somehow. So we're introducing a couple of things because Trace has a business she's starting. I have a business I'm starting, and we're going to talk about them so that maybe you guys will listen and tell your friends.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, anyway, so let's start with yours first because yours has existed for longer. You just created a new name. It's called Flow OCR. Kind of cool, like Florida OCR, obstacle course racing. If you don't get it, you just don't get it.
Yeah, and you know what's really funny is this is the first time I think we're going to say it out loud because we don't, yeah. So like all of our people don't really know except for, okay, let me back up. A couple of people in class kind of know because we've been running this program for a while, but this is the first year that we've been doing it all year. And like all year long, we have not had a name. It's just been like the hybrid athlete program, the OCR program. Like we kind of intermix everything together. Yeah. So we've just been calling each other our team. And so Barry and I into 2023 have a lot of plans. We have a lot of things that we're doing. And one of those things is that we want to host races like here. We want to host trail races. We want to host like first responder races. We want to host backyard OCR races. And in order for us to do that, we want to have our team be like, you know, cohesive and have a stance and they can travel and go to other places and run, you know, by themselves or with somebody else and wear our shirt or our, you know, lettering or whatever you want to call it.
Your brand.
Represent our brand without just being like, oh, we're a hybrid athlete.
But,
you know, from Florida.
Back up a little bit. It all started as hybrid OCR.
No, it started as DECA training.
Right.
Because last year we just had 6-week programs. So last year we were just doing across the board. We host DECA, Spartans DECA, which you hear us talk about all the time. If you don't know, it's the functional training version of Spartan races. But we basically started it from that because we would host 3 events last year. And in between those events, we had, you know, 6-week programs. And we just kind of saw that like that team camaraderie is what people really like and what they enjoy and what we enjoy coaching. And that 6-week program wasn't giving people what they really needed because after the 6 weeks and then after they competed, everybody would just kind of fall off and not really know where they were. So there was no like preseason, off season, you know, like tailoring season. Like there was no real program. It was just like a 6-week really hard press on DECA. They would compete. We would relax for a couple months and then we would do it again. So this year is like the first time that we're doing a full cohesive program with our team, if that makes more sense.
And that's when hybrid OCR began because then it was a full-on program, year-round, preseason, in-season, off-season training program that you guys had designed and people could go to, and people who aren't even competing in hybrid OCR but they want the same challenge that the hybrid OCR program provided, they could join as well and do it. And from there it grew. You guys hosted a lot of events. They're very successful. People from all over Florida were coming, and you created Flow OCR from that.
And also we realized that like not only were people coming to us, but we were doing a lot of traveling as a team. Like we went to Montana, we've been to South Carolina, we're going to Nashville next weekend, we'll be in South Florida, Atlanta. Like we have gone to so many places, California. We just always have races on the board that our whole team doesn't go to, but a good group of us each time are going to these places and traveling together. So it's just really nice to have something solid to say that we are the Flow CR team. So only a couple people know because it's, you know, FLOCR. And as like a joke, we've been saying like FLOCR because we curse all the time. So it's like these damn flockers. And just like as an inside joke, we've just been calling each other the flocker squad. And like, you know, like today we ran a 12-mile together and we like saw Mike in the distance. And so Barry was like, a flocker call, and then we all just started with a caw, like we're all just like fucking around. It's like so ridiculous, but that's honestly us. Like, trust me, you won't be judged if you come join us. It's ridiculous, but it's a good time. It's a lot of different personalities in one room. That's why it works.
But that's again, that's what your training program is. Again, I'm not a huge fan of group training, but you guys make it work so well because you all make it as much of a individual, it's like the most individual community ever, right? Like your whole thing is based on like we're here for each other and that's that, and like we're going to be there to lift each other up and encourage each other and push each other, and that's why we're all working out together right now. But at the same time, you and Barry understand all of the people in the program so deeply, especially their like training history, that you adapt to each person very well.
Thank you.
And so I think that's what makes Flow OCR so cool is you guys really put all of your energy into each person that's there. But at the same time, the entire brand is like, we're in this together. And so that's why there are people that have left. But it's because those people weren't team players at all.
Right. And you can tell, like, so a lot of people have come and tried out with us or tried a class or came on a run. And then they kind of like, you know, fell off the bandwagon or didn't necessarily like that, but that's okay. Like we make it known that like it's not for everyone. Some people like the day-to-day activity where they just show up to a class, do what they're told, and then they leave. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But like it is true, like for us, the way that we program, like Barry and I meet every week and we're on like a training block right now, but we meet every week because there are, even though we write the workout for everybody that's involved, there are certain things going on that we know certain people have to work on. So like one of the things that we're doing right now is from October, well, I mean, it started last week, but until January 1, which gives you that couple, you know, a couple months period of time, we said everybody has to have a goal, right? And we do this like a couple times a year. So right now it's your end of the year goal that you can retest on the 1st of January. Everybody's goal is going to be different, right? So in class the other day, we were doing a little bit of mix of hybrid and DECA because we have DECA in 2 weeks. So really what we did was a DECA-based workout, including more grip strength because we're going to Nashville this weekend, DECA next. So we kind of like had everybody doing the same workout. But in that workout, one of the things was the optional exercise of that workout was to work on what your goal is. Because even though we're all doing the workout together, the way that you intensify that workout based off of your athletic capability is how that workout is going to be in progression for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just nice to have Barry there with me. So that way, obviously, I'm not doing it alone with 30 people, you know, but it is a team-based thing, but we're also individually training at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but that's what
it's a lot, but it's fun. It's a really good time.
That's what makes a good group coach.
Yeah.
I
vibe with that. I'm a people person.
Yeah, it's like, let's make this a team-based thing, but a team-based thing where every individual person can progress. And if you're doing that, I think that you're a successful group coach. Yeah,
so it's awesome. So we've been doing all year, we've been doing 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
this 7 o'clock in the morning.
FaceTime me. Worst timing ever. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m., and then starting after DECA, so DECA is October 22nd, so the 24th is that Monday. On Monday and Wednesday, we'll be starting a 4:30 p.m. class.
Exciting.
Yeah, so we're getting in there, we're getting more equipment, we're getting more time frames, you know, 7 o'clock's really awkward. A lot of people can't make it, but we want to make it accessible to everybody. And one thing that we've been harping on, that we've been meeting about like every single week, and me and Barry are like just pounding this into our heads, it is so important for us to make sure that the people that come in the afternoon know and are, you know, communicating and involved with everybody that's in the morning. Yeah. Because we don't want to lose that team that we have. You know, like we all go to this event and we all know each other and we all have a great time and we're all knowing what each other has to work on. Everybody knows that, like, you know, Denise needs to work on getting off of the monkey bars out of mental fear. So like when we all see her on the monkey bars, we all know what she has to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like we all are in tune with each other. So I want to make sure that those afternoon people are just as in tune with the morning people.
Yeah, I think that's kind of leads into future stuff for you and Barry to do, is have that like Discord chat that everybody who's physically in the program can all be a part of. But
we
then
have Facebook.
But then I'm saying people from all over Florida will eventually, as your thing grows, right? Because I know the online training isn't really y'all's thing, especially with what your brand is. But people all over Florida can pay and join like the Discord, and they can all be a part of Flow OCR,
the team,
uploading their workouts, going off of you guys' workouts, communicating with you guys, learning from you guys, having full access to you and Barry and everybody on the team. Some for like, I don't know, $10-15 a month or whatever they want to pay.
Yeah, because it is nice, like, as much as social media sucks, you know, because you're like sucked into it, it's like, it is a nice thing that there's those options available to be able to expand a team. Like Strava is a good one, for example. You know, like Tony obviously is not with us anymore. He, you know, like left because he got a job elsewhere.
It sounded like that. He's not with us anymore.
Like I said that and it didn't come out the right way. Sorry, Tony. You're with us in a different state. But
rest in peace.
No, Tony,
he's gonna listen to this.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean. I said that and immediately was like, "Whoa, that was really dark." I didn't mean it like that.
He's gonna put on his story and be like, "I'm not dead."
So is Jonathan. Zoe's across the country. You know, Mac was on a trip in the Keys or something like that.
Mac
we all went.
Here?
I know, but he went on a trip in the Keys, and we all went for a 10-mile run. And that was a part of our training. Was like we all were going to get in this double-digit run, and it was going to be a huge, you know, like pivot in everybody's training regimen because we're all going to run a half marathon in December. So this was like a really big weekend for us to be like, okay, this is your first double-digit run. We're going to do this shit together. And they weren't with us. But on Strava, like Mac ran his 10 miles down south and Tony ran his up north. And we could see it. So like it's nice to have those different types of apps because even though they're not training with us directly, they're still training with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Join the Flow OCR team. We're a shit ton of fun.
OCR.
Yeah.
And then there's Alchemical Training.
And Alchemical Training! Okay, wait, pause. Let's just say this. We did record this episode and we totally lost everything. So at that time, she didn't release it yet. But
it's out.
Now it's out.
It's released. Alchemical Training has begun. Online training business. Trainee designed my logo. Tracey.
Call me whatever you want, I'll answer. I am here.
Tracey designed my logo. It's sick. I love the logo. Like it's clean. I don't think I could like a logo more. It's perfect.
And we just designed her whole 6-week program.
Yep.
That she's going to release too.
Yep. For people who can't or don't want to do online training, but they still want like a solid program to follow. That will be out in the next couple weeks. But yeah, so Alchemical Training is my online training business because I wanted to be able to expand my audience to people outside of obviously just Momentum Fitness. I'm still in-person training. I love in-person training. I'll probably in-person train forever in some capacity just because it's what I love to do and it's so fun. But I also really enjoy online training and I wanted to get an actual business put together so that I could do it in a very efficient way. And I was stuck on the name for like fucking months. For months. I wanted it to have to do with alchemy because I like the idea of alchemy. Alchemy is like the transformation of common metals into gold. It's this old, ancient practice, but it also is just the term alchemical is an adjective. It's just this seemingly magical process of transformation. And when I saw that and I saw alchemical, I was like, that's exactly what I want because that's what I want my clients to experience. That's what I think a good coach does. I think a good coach puts their client in a position where they unlock this potential, this like seemingly magical, totally realistic, but like seemingly magical potential that they can now reach and that they transform into as an athlete. And so when I looked up alchemical, I was like, oh, alchemical training, that's it. Like, that's what I want.
And I think it's really good, too, because, like, with how invested you are in your individual clients, it just, like, it's the perfect name because it's no bullshit. You know, like, that's what you want. Like, you want them to transform. Like, you are so invested in your clients. That's what brings you happiness is, like, seeing them transform. So I think it's, like, the perfect name.
Yeah. In fact, it's so – the clients that I struggle with the most are the ones that are not serious about what they're doing, which it's the
Drives you
easiest
nuts.
money. It's the easiest money because you don't have to do anything, because they pay you monthly and you tell them the same shit and you let them do their thing, or like you're in the gym with them and you put them on whatever and you talk with them for half an hour, and it's just easy money. But which is, like I think there's a temptation that people fall into as coaches to do that. But for me, it gets really frustrating because as a coach, it's like, I want to watch my clients reach their goals. And when they're not, I feel like a failure. So it's kind of selfish. It's like, because I want to see you reach your goals, I'm going to be pissed if you're not serious about reaching your goals.
Yeah, but it's not really selfish. It just shows like how dedicated you are to your craft. That's what it really is. It's not selfish. It's just
it makes me look bad, man.
No, it's
See,
not.
turn your shit off.
What is that? Oh, that's me. Sorry.
That's not me.
Jeez, look at these clients texting me when we're recording a damn podcast.
It's not me. How dare they?
Damn you.
You didn't know we were recording?
But, okay, so the person, this is so weird because we just did this and we were supposed to release it before Aiden came on. But Aiden is her first client, I would say. Which you saw in the last podcast.
If you listen to the podcast with Aiden was my client before I ever had an online business. He reached out to me when I had nothing. I had no intention of having online clients. I was very much in person. It was before I'd even graduated, so I was still a part-time in-person trainer. I wasn't even a full-time trainer yet, and he reached out to me wanting online training. It was, this guy seriously invested in me because I didn't have like a system for calling or weekly check-ins or how to communicate with me or a template, or like it was like very basic, boring Excel spreadsheet. I'll FaceTime you like once every couple weeks kind of thing. It was very unorganized, but the training was good and the programming was good. And so he made a lot of progress, and he accomplished quite a bit in the, almost a year I've been working with him. But since he's helped me a lot because he helps other businesses grow. That's part of what he does for a living. And so while I was training him, helping him reach his goals, he was helping me with my online business that didn't even exist yet. So he was like, you need to think of a name. Like, this is what you need to start thinking about your brand. You need to start thinking about like what potential niches you want to go into, but not get so specific so that you put yourself in a box. You need to start thinking about XYZ. And so he inspired me to get a mentor to help me with my online business. And so I reached out to Killian Hamilton, and he helped me for like 6 weeks develop the whole thing and bring it to life. And had to push me quite a bit because I was like terrified to launch it.
She was so nervous to launch her online business for like the longest time. It was like, I'm going to do this. Okay. We worked on her logo. She's like, okay, I'm going to release it. And then like, I think you put it one thing on your Instagram, and then it was like a week later, and then a week later.
Like radio silence.
But that's just you being you, because everything that you do normally has to be perfect. Well, because you are a perfectionist, like that's just your personality. And you're like, if it's not perfect and if I don't have all my shit together, I'm not going to do it. And I was sitting there like,
you'll never have it all together.
It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
People aren't perfect. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you just have to start somewhere. And the people that help you, your OGs that are going to be your first clients, are going to help you evolve as an online trainer. That's how I started hybrid. Like when we did our first DECA, it was de la ghetto at Momentum. Okay. De la ghetto. Like we had pink and purple bubblegum tents. Everything that we had was duct taped on the ground. We had like the most ghetto rig set up as far as like how all of our zones go.
Yeah.
Like our DECA programming, we ended up having to take outside because we couldn't use the room. Like everything was freaking dusty. And now we have our own tent that I designed, like a Momentum tent, super badass. We have our own black tents. It looks nice. We're getting a new rig at Momentum because I totally bribed Drew into getting us a fucking rig. Like you have to start somewhere, because if you don't start, you'll never do it.
Yeah.
You'll never evolve.
Exactly.
Like you can't be perfect when you first start. It's unrealistic.
Well, I think that's part of starting is you figure out what you need as you go. You're not going to, if you haven't started yet, you don't really know what you actually need because you've never done it. So you have to just start it, and then you'll figure out what you need as you begin. And that was the cool thing about training Aiden online, is there was a lot of I need this, I need this, I need this that I already got to figure out, and since I've trained a couple of other people online as well, still before I had an online business, And then now that I have my actual official online business, it's a lot less nerve-wracking for me just because I'm like, okay, I've trained a few people. These are the things that I've come across that are tough. These are the hurdles that I usually have to get over with people. These are the things that are very easy to do with people. Right. And so it's easy for me to now understand, okay, XYZ, this is what I have to do. And meeting with Killian, it was very helpful because he is fully online training. And so he helped me a lot to understand how you network, client retention, how you communicate with your clients online, when to not communicate with your clients. Like, he was teaching me all of the little things that I wouldn't think about because he does it full time. When full time is really in person for me. Mm-hmm. So
not to mention, you literally had to put yourself in a whole different lifestyle to do online training because she was not an Instagram person, not a TikTok person, would always be on my shit and I'd be like, hey, can you record this? She's like, oh, fine. And now everything is online these days. It's just the way that the world is going, not only to promote yourself as an in-person trainer, but now to promote yourself for our business, our podcast, or online training, Flow OCR, whatever it might be. It's just the way it is. So you had to change everything that you were used to.
Oh yeah,
and I had to get a TikTok. I
had to get a link tree.
Yeah, you made a really cool link tree. I saw you did.
Did you see that shit? That shit looked good, bro.
Yeah, it did look good. I do your props. You posted on your story. You were like, just look how pretty it was.
I was like, don't even use it.
I mean, it's the prettiest 2 links I've ever seen, though. I'll give you that.
It's 2 links.
Literally, that's it. I was like, what?
It's like Alchemical Training, book a consult, BarTalk.
Yeah. What the fuck?
That's it. Whatever.
So
I'll add more as we go. I have a couple, when the hypertrophy program's out, I'll have a link for the program to buy. I'll have links coming out as we go, but it's just every day. It's just a new thing every day.
So if somebody was to say, here's a question for you. If somebody was to go online right now, they could find 5,000 trainers, quickly, right? So why would somebody pick you as an online trainer versus somebody else? Let me tell you, all motherfuckers.
I had somebody ask me this question on my Instagram. It's in my highlight reel. And the answer is, honestly, there's 2 parts to this question.
Okay.
From the good coaches to the bad coaches, it's very easy. I'm a good coach, so the bad coaches suck. It's the people that haven't ever trained in person, the people that aren't even certified, the people who have really shitty flash deals, the people that are too cheap, the people that don't cost anything. All of those things are red flags as online coaches. When you can separate the good from the bad, honestly, all good coaches say and do roughly the same thing, just in their own way. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not necessarily any better than any good coach, but I'm myself. And so when you are picking me over another good coach, it's because you like me.
You have to vibe.
So what makes me better than other coaches is myself and my personality. And that's up to whoever is hiring me to decide. Not everyone, I was talking with this about Killian. It was he's some people like me. Some people would rather train with XYZ. And it has nothing to do with our ability to coach and everything to do with who we are as people. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I think, why people hire me as an online coach and an in-person coach as well.
Yeah. I'll give you something too. I will say that one of your strong suits, especially right now going into online training, is that you do have the in-training person. You do have the in-training experience. Mm-hmm. So your cues and how to coach people from afar is a lot easier for you.
Oh, yeah.
Versus a lot of people who have never trained online. In person. It's very hard to cue people if you've never actually seen it firsthand or had to cue with somebody that's standing right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? You have both of those experiences already under your belt. Even though you never released your online training, you've been training people online. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Aiden, for example. And yeah, you might have had to learn some things along the way until you released an actual coaching business, but you are still an in-person trainer. So you're still learning and you're still experiencing that side of the wheelhouse before you even put it online. Yep. And I think that's really important because a lot of people, like I said, you can go on TikTok and fucking Instagram and find an online trainer like that, right?
Yeah.
But all of them have ever only trained online. How much could you really give somebody if you've never had that in-person experience?
And this is the thing, personal training, whether it's in person or online, has a very low barrier to entry. You get a certification, it's pretty easy. Some people don't even need a certification, and you just start training people. Very, very low barrier to entry. And so because of that, the market is super saturated, and that sucks. But what doesn't suck is it's also really easy to now elevate yourself, because there's a lot of very mediocre or poor trainers out there. And so when you can gain the experience, gain the knowledge, work hard, you show that you have right stories from clients who have reached goals and made progress, et cetera, you have now elevated yourself in the market as a coach. And it's when you elevate yourself, it's like the masses are down here and like the very few are up here. And it's very easy to now gain clientele and show that you're a good coach, because I think so much of the online fitness space is such bullshit that people cling to a good coach. You know, sometimes it's hard to find them because they're not as popular, but when you do find them, it's like, I gotta tell everybody about this person because they're actually fucking really good.
Yeah.
When these other people are just here to make money and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. And I think that, like, you know, and I say this to people that ask me about like my program too, because like our program is the highest, I guess, paying program now in at Momentum, like over Elevate and over Group Fitness and stuff. They're like, well, why is your program so expensive? And it's like, or like, why should I pick you over somebody else? And it's like, there's so many things out there that are not expensive, right? But you're not necessarily giving the investment into good quality things. It's like the Planet Fitness method of online training. Like, that's how I explain it to people. Planet Fitness is a $10 membership, right? So people pay $10, $10. It's out of sight, out of mind. If they don't come for a couple months, they don't give a shit because it's $10, right? Whereas Momentum, you could be paying $150 a month, but you're paying $150 a month for high quality trainers and a high quality class. And if you pay that money, you're going to come. Well, and it's also, like, you have to make the investment in your online trainer and in your class. And if they want to do it, then they'll pick you, you know?
And it doesn't necessarily, it tells what you pay for also. I don't want to say it exposes the kind of caliber of person purchasing the product, but a little bit. Like, if you're just there to work out and get a good sweat in, you don't necessarily need to pay $200 a month for some program. Like, Elevate is a great program. It's part of Momentum. Elevate's a great program that people can go to get a solid workout in. But Tracey and Barry are like, we are making this more niche and more specific, and we also walk the walk. We train this every day. We do this every day. We're competing every month, all the time. So this is our life. And so because of that, for those people that want to increase the challenge and they want to expose themselves to a more competitive environment, it's like, you're going to pay more for that. And that's why you're charging more, because that's the audience that you're going for. You're not going for just like a daily gym goer. Right. You're going for somebody that wants to fucking work hard.
Right. And the same thing could be said about online training. Like, you and Killian, you guys walk the walk. Like, you train hard. You know what I'm saying? You train for not only to learn, but you train for yourselves. You're not just like the online trainer that has 25 years of experience but doesn't necessarily do it anymore. So it's just the investment that people are willing to make and putting yourself out there, which is like the hardest thing for you to do, but you're doing it. She's doing it.
We did it. So yeah, we just wanted to make a quick episode telling you guys what we're doing, what we're working on.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is one of those episodes that we really don't like doing because we don't like talking about ourselves.
But we gotta like eat. We gotta like pay the bills somehow. So I mean, like, come on.
Not only that, but it's like, you know, sometimes you like get a question from people and they're like, oh, I listen to your podcast, but like, what do you guys do? And I'm just like, maybe we should talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, this is what we do. We
throw in what we do, like, here and there. We sprinkle it around. But, like, just because we hate literally talking about ourselves, we're like, we're going to put that on the back burner for episode 12 of our freaking podcast. Like, 12 episodes deep. Then we'll tell everybody who the hell we are, actually.
Well, this is what we do, you guys.
Well, anyway, if you want to train some badass stuff and you want to go to some cool races, hit us up on the gram. If you want online training, go to Alchemical Training. I'll put all of the links in the description below. It was a quick one.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Whew. We love you.
I'm sweating.
We're going to go record another fun episode after this.
All right, bye, motherfuckers.
This podcast is sponsored by Clean Freaks, the all-natural, antibacterial, 100% biodegradable body wipe. I cannot tell you how many times these guys have saved my life. With them being individually wrapped, I could bring them anywhere, in my gym bag, on the trail, on the go, or even in my car. Check out cleanfreaks.com, spelled with a K, and use TRAS20 for 20% off. Hello?